seller, a house flipper, a businesswoman, a go-getter, a big investor, a gold builder that could teach you to get richer like millions, baby. You really about to fill your savings. You about to have multiple streams to pass your children, baby. Let me teach you to get your credit on track in the long run. You'll make it all back at Catalyst and watch it all psychological black on firm, but we ain't all black.
What's up, everybody? It is your girl, Constance Carter, and this is the Grow Your Money podcast, where we talk about how to grow your money and not blow your money. Because if you blow your money, ain't a damn thing funny. I'm gonna get my light together over here. What's up, everybody? So it's Monday. It's Money Monday. You guys come on in. First of all, let me know. I got this new little mic. I don't really like it. This was my old mic, the Blue Yeti. I had it for like 6 years. And lately, look, I got a little great thing on it. Lately, it's gave way. So I ain't been using no mic. So now I got this little thing. I don't really like it. It's super little. I got it from, I think I got it from Temu. Well, I don't know how good it is. So I'll see afterwards how good it is. But can y'all hear me okay? I just want to make sure y'all can hear me okay. So you guys come on in. I got so much to share with you today on Money Monday. I really want to talk about modern day minstrels and how AI and just the history of how Black people have been portrayed and the propaganda around how we look online, how we've always looked in the media, all that. And so I've done a lot of research today just to kind of just explain where we are, what we see going on, and how we just really need to be educated on this and intentional about how we also internalize and spew all of this rhetoric that we see online, and who's actually really in charge, who's really putting this information out there, because there's an agenda. There's always an agenda to the program. And the agenda always goes back to white supremacy. So we're going to talk about it. But before we do that, if this is your first time on here, this is the Grow Your Money podcast, where I talk about how to grow your money, not blow your money. And if you're a regular here, what's up to all my regular folks? You know what it is. I always love to shout you out. I like to see where you're watching from. And then if this is your first time watching, go ahead and let us know, because everybody else, this is live. And so this is a dialogue and not a monologue. What that means is I want you to talk back to me and talk Black to me. What does that mean? Your interaction is very necessary. In fact, if you want to come on live here and you have something that you want to say live, if you want to get on here, go to Talk Black, the number 2, and then me.com, talkblack2me.com. And you can join me on here live if you have any questions or you have any commentary that you want to add to the conversation. So go to talkblack2me.com and you can come here. And my screen just went black. You good? So in any case, so I want to talk to you. And so what I want to ask you before we even get started is, have you guys seen or have you noticed? Oh, hold on. Let me go back, because I gotta do my whole thing. So, okay, I see you first time watching from Delaware, from Wilmington, Delaware. I see you, Lindale from California. What's happening? All the people who always be here all the time. Miss Sophia from Stockton, California. Okay, I did pause, huh? Yeah, my screen went black. But this is actually a good conversation that I want to have. And for all you Black-owned businesses, I got to put that out there too. The reason why I do this is because I always want to make sure that we are intentional about how we spend our money, about our dollars. There was a study that said by the year 2053 that Black median wealth was going to be at 0. So I always love to be intentional about teaching us about Black ownership, whether it's in real estate. And if you don't know who I am, and if this is your first time ever even seeing me, I'm Constance Carter. I built the largest Black-owned real estate firm in California. I'm a best-selling author. I'm a speaker. I'm an investor. I'm all those things. And so I just like to share everything that I know with other people. And so that's why I have the Grow Your Money podcast, where I try to come on here and just try to give you information. I do Money Mondays every Monday. So we talk about money, how to grow your money and not blow your money. And then we talk about other topics throughout the course of the week. But so if you are a Black-owned business, or you know a Black-owned business, it is imperative that you give this information because they need to understand what it is that we need, why we need it. Here's the thing about Black ownership. Less than 3% of businesses in Black communities are Black-owned. Most of the businesses in Black communities are Hispanic, white, Jewish, Asian, Arab, right? And so what happens is we do not have ownership even in our own communities, and you will never go to any of those communities and see Black-owned businesses. And so it's not that we don't want to do business with each other because they say that our money lasts in our community 6 hours. Well, we just simply don't have enough businesses to do business with. And so that's why I always love to showcase Black-owned businesses. And that's the reason why I have the Grow Your Money Club. In fact, this is some of the things that I have inside the Grow Your Money Club. It's an online training portal where I show you different skill sets so that you can create your own businesses. While everybody else is out here blowing their money, you about to be growing your money. How? Inside the Grow Your Money Club, this is your one-stop wealth building training hub designed to help you build, grow, invest, and diversify your income. You have the credit bundle, which is going to help you to increase your credit IQ with business credit, personal credit, with the credit repair masterclass. And then you have the real estate bundle. This is where we're going to show you how to invest in tax deeds, land banks, how to buy a house separately from your spouse, the Living Trust ebook, and from Campus Cash Flows, showing your children how to become real estate investors. In the investor bundle, you're going to learn how to invest using Robinhood, the investor success formula, and the wealth map 6-phase blueprint that shows you how to build, grow, and invest your money. And finally, the business builder bundle. This is where we show you how to establish your entity and build business credit, how to obtain government contracts, how to create jaw-dropping video content, how to write and publish your best-selling book, and even how to bring your idea to life. You can purchase each training a la carte, get the bundle that fits your goals, or unlock the 12-month roadmap, which is your full access pass to every single training inside the Grow Your Money Club. While they're spending, you stacking. While they're watching, you winning. Join the Grow Your Money Club today. So y'all see the new little video I got? Did a new little video over the weekend. I had added some other trainings to the Grow Your Money Club. And so I updated it. But part of being inside the Grow Your Money Club, I actually show you how to do these videos. I show you how to create these videos using AI, CapCut, and all of these different tools, step by step. I show you how to write a book. I show you how to invest in stock. I show you how to create your entity. I show you how to build your credit. Some folks on here, Miss Sophia, that's always on here every day, she increased her credit score, I think 200 or 300 points. So this is what I do. I look at a solution. I look at a problem and I try to have a solution just based upon the things that I know, because I want to be intentional about providing the service to people who need it. Because if they say that our wealth is going to be a zero in 2053, I don't believe that. So my contribution is with Black women. I coach Black women from all over the country with the Net 7 Collective and the Net 7 Nation all over the world. We have women all over the world. So that's one thing that I do, right? So that's a solution. This is for Black women specifically. And then I also have trainings, and that's for everybody. I don't care what color, creed, or whatever you are welcome to take any of my trainings inside the Grow Your Money Club. You can purchase them individually. You can purchase a bundle, or you could purchase the 12-month roadmap, which will give you access to everything that I have. And I'm always dropping new trainings inside the Grow Your Money Club. So that's for us. I need you to let people know. But if you own a Black-owned business, put it in here, because the whole point is I want to make sure that we practice collective economics. I'm real serious about that thing, y'all. And I also teach real estate investing. I have the B1 real estate mastery training as well. So if you are interested in investing in real estate, perhaps developing real estate, I'm teaching all of those things. I just talked about tax deeds and tax liens last week, and this week we're going to be talking about how to get land banks and just different ways, create your joint venture partnership through real estate. But again, these are things that I teach specifically for people so that they can really understand what their power is. There's power in the economics. And here's the thing about everything that's going on in the administration. It is a circus. It's a circus, y'all. It is a circus. And the thing about it is, it's always been a circus towards Black people. Can I repeat myself? It's always been a circus towards Black people. The problem today, the uproar today, is that white folks have never suffered the way Black people have. Have you noticed that? We've always gotten the short end of the stick. They never looked out for us. None of these programs, all of the SNAP and all these benefits, they were never designed for us. We were always considered last, or if we were even considered, if they even had given us opportunities. So now it's affecting people who look like them. And now it's an uproar. It's an all out uproar. Trust me, if 90% or 80% of the people on SNAP were Black, there would be no urgency from the Democrats or the Republicans to make sure that these benefits were restored, even with Black politicians. Okay, if the majority of the people on these benefits were Black or even Hispanic, there would be no urgency to restart that, because did you already see that politician said that people are selling their EBT for weaves and getting their hair done? That's another trope. Think about that. Okay. So that's what they're trying to project. But it's for them, for those politicians, the people in power, the reason why they do that is not because they really believe that. They're trying to convince the lowest white man that he's better than the best colored man, so that they could take that money from EBT and SNAP and give it to the billionaires in those cuts. That's the only thing they care about. See, these politicians, they are not serving the people. They are serving the people who contribute to their campaigns. And that's black and white politicians across the board. I don't trust none of them. I don't trust black ones, white ones. Anybody who's a politician, they really can't be trusted, because at the end of the day, they sell their souls to the highest bidder. But there is an opportunity for us if we are just disciplined and we reunite. The problem is a lot of people, because politicians have been masterful at convincing the lowest white man that he's better than the best colored man, so he's picking their pockets. So they cause this division. So now there's this fighting. And Fred Hampton, who was one of the smartest politicians that ever, not politicians, black leaders, he knew the formula. If you can get black, white, brown, Asian, all these people united against the powers that be, then we're powerful. And so COINTELPRO knew that. The federal government knew that. That's why they assassinated him. He knew the blueprint. And so then they've been doing this thing called propagandizing to continue the separation. But you got to think about this. Think about during the last election cycle when Donald Trump ran for the first time, and we knew that the Russian bots were influencing. They proved that these Russian bots were influencing the election by placing all of these conspiracy theories inside. And so now you see this huge, like, people have really been indoctrinated. You think about the words that these people, especially on the radical right, are talking about the radical left. First of all, people on the left aren't radicalized in that way. They try to say Antifa. Antifa is really anti-fascism, right? But they try to make the folks on the left, and I'm not even on the left. I'm certainly not on the right. But they try to dehumanize the people on the left with those words, with those tropes, so to keep that divisiveness up. That's what the politicians are masterful at. That's what Donald Trump is masterful at. He's not very smart political wise. What's happening in the Oval Office is that he's there. So what his handlers know is that this motherfucker is so dumb that he has no clue what's going on. He doesn't know what's going to help the economy. He don't know what's going to hurt the economy. But the Oval Office and the administration has been hijacked by white supremacists, by white nationalists who have Donald Trump under their thumb. And all that dude needs is some praise. He might say, he might add a couple of things here and there, but he's really not in charge. But he thinks he's in charge, and they want him to stay in charge because really they're in charge and he's not in charge. And he's such a narcissist. He just wants the power. He wants the accolades. He wants listen to him talk. He doesn't even talk. It's more sophisticated than a third grader. And most of the people who vote for Trump, most of MAGA, are their education, and this has been proven, they have the reading proficiency of third grade. Their comprehension level doesn't go beyond third grade. Okay, so those super cultish MAGA that's in rural America that are reading, the Breitbart report and who are listening to Fox News, they don't have a good understanding, and they've been indoctrinated. And so what that says to me is, and then the folks, of course, the billionaires, they know what's going on, but all they're doing is padding their pockets. That's why they love Donald Trump. They don't care. They're padding their pockets. So it's greed and it's ignorance. And that's what's really going on. It's greed and it's ignorance. So in any case, Shags Malone or whatever, whoever's on here, I appreciate that. I appreciate you coming here and talking shit over here. What do you think is going on with the inner cities, black lady? Okay. So anyway, if we talk about inner cities and you look at the tax bases are or schools are funded by the tax bases. So if you're in a wealthier neighborhood, you get more money. So we spend $3 billion more on white schools. I talked about this on my TED Talk. Google that shit. We spend $3 billion more on white schools than we spend on schools of color with Black and Hispanic. So it's not that white kids are smarter. They just have access to better education. And therefore, they have access to when we take tests. That's why a lot of these proficiency tests are racially biased, because they have the education. They are being prepared for that. That's the reason why they're able to pass tests to score high to get into these secondary education, these colleges. So don't tell me about schools in the inner city. That's all, again, white supremacy and racism. If it was white people who were failing, they would put more money into white schools. The problem with America, and I haven't even gotten to my topic yet, the problem with America is they will cut off their nose to spite their face. In the name of racism, America is so sick with racism that you won't educate your citizens. So then where we are, I don't even know where we are on the level of education globally. We're somewhere like 40th or something like that in the world, right? So we're supposed to be so smart. The superpower, again, the proficiency of Trump supporters is the reading proficiency, or the comprehension proficiency of Trump supporters is really third grade. And when you look at it on a global scale, now I used to work at Cisco Systems. I used to be in IT. And when at Cisco Systems, they would have all these people here. Cisco Systems, which is a networking technology company in the Silicon Valley. I'm from the Silicon Valley. And it would be nothing but people who had visas that came there to work. Why? Because there were not enough people in the United States who were proficient at STEM. Because they're so sick with racism, they rather import people from other countries than to educate people in their own countries. And therefore, that's a breach of national security, because now you got to bring all these people in to do the work that if you would be educating your people on, they could be doing the work. But you're not going to do that. So anyway, there's so many facets to this, and it is fascinating, and it is heartening. And I'm always going to be, and I'm glad that some white folks is on here, because I'm always going to be B1. I'm always going to be Black first. Okay. So what I do, and because there's been such a disproportionate amount of racism, predatory lending, systematic racism, and all those things, my goal is to help the underserved, which are Black folks who have lost, I think it's $70 trillion in unearned wages through the slave trade, slave labor. That's what I do. Okay, so I'm glad that you're here listening, and you can negate all you want to. I don't give a damn, but I'm gonna tell you some facts. All right. You're just racist to the point of delirium, so everything seems racist to you. Oh, Leon, thank you for logging on today. I hope you listening, homeboy. All right. So anyway, so I do want to talk about these racial tropes that we often see, and it's a very sad state in America when we see a lot of this. Have you ever wondered, Black people and white folks who are listening, y'all can listen to this too. No matter how far we climb, there's always a new way to try to make us look bad. Like from minstrel shows back in the 30s to Black faces. Now we have blackface filters. We have propaganda posters for algorithms. The tools have changed, y'all, but the agenda has not. Back then, they painted us at burnt cork and called it entertainment. Today, they have AI and they're calling it data. You see, there's power and there's money in manipulation of our image. The more they can make the world believe that we're angry, that we're violent, that we're lazy, and that we're divided, the less we control our collective wealth. The less that we control our unity and our destiny. Remember, and I'm glad that you on here, white people. J. Edgar Hoover said the biggest threat to America was Negro unity. So they did everything that they could to destroy Black unity, because they knew together that we are a powerful people. We are the most powerful force. And so if they can't divide us now, so let's do a history lesson. So if this is your first time on here, I'm gonna give you a history lesson, especially to the white folks who's on here who want to call me a racist. And so I'm so glad that you're here. After emancipation, after Reconstruction, Black folks had cities all over the country. We had thriving cities all over the country. When you talk about our inner cities and schools in the inner cities, you got to understand where that came from and why it's there. And I'm glad that you said that. But this goes back to you. See, racism is not for us to understand. It's for you guys to understand, because we understand, because we have been the ones who have been the victims of racism. And don't talk about no race card, because you can't victimize somebody and then call them a victim. So we had thriving communities all over the country. If you look at in North Carolina, where there was one coup d'etat in the history of America. One coup d'etat. It was in North Carolina, because black folks were in office. White people got mad. They killed a lot of the folks who were in office. They burned down the town. They burned down all the businesses. That was in Wilmington, North Carolina. And then if you look at places like Rosewood and Tulsa and Greenwood, and places all over the country that we built after emancipation, after Reconstruction, we just wanted our own. We weren't even bothering y'all. But what do you guys do? You come and bother us. You make up lies. You say that your women got raped. You say that your somebody stole $25 in chicken feed or whatever, and then you come burning whole towns down. Red Summer of 1919 was when there were race riots, quote unquote race riots, but it wasn't race riot. It was a massacre all over the country, where white people hung black people all over the country for doing things like simply living. So this is even after ain't nobody bothering y'all. But then you want to come into our black-owned towns, and you want to destroy black-owned towns because you're jealous. Because in spite of everything that you throw in our way, we're still making a way. And that's the reason why J. Edgar Hoover said black unity was the biggest threat to America, because they know together we're powerful. And so then after that, we have integration. Okay, now you're going to break black communities, because now we got integration, and now we think the white man's ice is colder. Now we want to go shop with white people. We no longer want to shop with black people. We no longer want to do business with black people, because we don't have to do business with black people, because now we can do business with white folks. And so now our black businesses are destroyed. Then you have the Great Migration. Okay, what black folks is coming up from the South, and they're going to the North, the West, the East. They're going to get in these industrial jobs. They're going the Industrial Revolution. They're going to the West Coast. They're going to the East Coast. What happens? Now you have places like Chicago, like Detroit, which are filled with black folks. Then you have what's called white flight. White people leave. We don't want to be next to them. And then, of course, we couldn't even get home loans back then. You have what's called redlining. I don't know if you know, but the projects were not even built for black people. It was built for white people. It was subsidized housing built for white people. But then when white folks started moving out of the cities and they started moving into these suburbs, then you have what's called urban decay. That's when they started taking the stores and the local economies out of the stores. Right? So they're going to starve us out. All right, now you have urban decay. Now you don't have any real economies in these cities. So then what do? Oh, the CIA. Look it up. Gary Webb actually exposed this in the San Jose Mercury News. The CIA comes and starts putting drugs in these communities, drugs and guns. Then you have Ronald Reagan, and then Richard Nixon, who then start to criminalize black folks after you've put the guns and the drugs. You take the jobs away. You put the guns and the drugs in the community, and then you take the jobs away, and then you criminalize. People who become addicted become felons, and then people who sell become felons. You do that. You destroy this community. And then you plaster it all over the world, right? You plaster this image of black people, violence. And this is all y'all see. This is the reason why you say that, oh, look at Chicago. The first thing y'all say, look at Chicago. Okay. I live in Maryland in an all black wealthy community where 90% of the people are black. And I think the average income here is $200,000. And the average home price over here is over $1 million. Okay. There are black affluent communities as well. But what y'all want to say is, look at black on black crime. Look at white serial killers. Look at white on white crime. Like, all of that is out there, but it's not propagandized. You know why? Because we don't own the media. And so what they've done is they continue to perpetuate this cycle over and over and over again. And then when we go out of the country, or when people see black people, they automatically think that we're violent. They automatically think that we're poverty. Why do you think that they're saying Jasmine Crockett is cosplaying as a black woman? She just is who she is because she had a good education. Now she can't be really black. Like, you guys are so ridiculous when it comes to this. Black people is not synonymized with struggle, with uneducation. Like, come on. But that's what we've even internalized out, because that's the propaganda that we see over and over and over again. But that's not who we are. I don't even know these people. So that's what we see that's going on. And that's what's been happening for so freaking long. But what we have to do is we have to take it back. You got to think about the minstrel shows. White man in blackface, caricatures, black people are lazy, black people are inferior. It was their way to justify slavery and segregation. Now you think about that now. When you have, let me just show you how this all plays out, right? This is what they used to have online. This was in the newspapers. The pickaninny. Okay, honey, I was waiting for you. That's how they depicted black people. Then I don't know if you know the history of watermelon, but again, after Reconstruction, black farmers started making a lot of money selling watermelons. And guess what they did? They started depicting black people eating watermelon like this. So now black people don't even want to buy watermelons because now it's displayed in a negative manner. That was propaganda to attack the watermelon farmers so people would not buy the watermelons, to bankrupt the watermelon farmers because they were getting paid more than white people. I don't know if you knew that. And then let me see. You have the black buck. Again, that's sexualizing black men, because that's all y'all good for, right? You have the mammy. That's how they portrayed us. I don't know if you guys know, but Diane Carroll was so regal and elegant. I did a Black History Spotlight on this. And she was doing a play on Broadway, and they were doing an after party, and she was disinvited to the after party because the person who was putting on the after party did not want her child to see a sophisticated and regal black woman, because what they wanted them to see is a mammy or a servant or a slave. She was too sophisticated for this. So she got uninvited, because what they only want you to think of black women is a mammy or some type of prostitute. And then you look at in the 80s, you had the welfare queen, the birth of the welfare queen. Ronald Reagan talked about the welfare queen, which was, again, it was directed towards black people. Again, we know that white people overwhelmingly are on welfare more than black people. And welfare was, when the welfare was created, it was looked at as a beautiful thing to help Americans, specifically white Americans. And I don't know if you know about the history of welfare, but what they would do, especially with black people, is they would stipulate that there could be no man in the house if you receive some type of aid. So for 20 years, there was a no man in the house rule, so that black people could not receive aid if they had a man in the house, which kind of destroyed the black family, because you won't give black men a job. And if the woman needed aid, she couldn't have a husband. So she could not receive welfare. And so the black man had to move out of the house. And then I saw stories where you had black men who would be so humiliated because they would come over in the middle of the night to check to see if there was a man in the house. And they would find men under the bed or in the closet. Like, this is my house. And you coming in with a flashlight to see if I'm here. You know, and so there's this lack of dignity that's being placed upon these black men, that you can't get jobs. You won't give them jobs. And so I gotta decide whether my children are going to starve or I'm going to have my husband in the home. And they had to make decisions. So when welfare was designed for the American, it was celebrated. Oh, we're helping these Americans. But as soon as black folks started using it, then they put stipulations on here for us only. And then when more of us started getting it, now we have what's called the welfare queen. This was the image of the welfare. Oh, she's actually got money. She's trading her food stamps for, did you hear the guy? He said, we're trading our food stamps for weaves and getting our nails done. White man said this. Black women, no, he didn't say black women, but who are you talking about? But again, black women aren't the ones disproportionately on welfare or on EBT. White people are. But again, that's the propaganda. Go back to Lyndon B. Johnson. If you can convince the poorest white man that he's better than the best black man or colored man, he won't even know you picking his pockets. Hell, give him somebody to look down on and he will give you everything he owns. Think about that. So the powers that be, more than racist, because they are racist, but more than the racism, it's about division, it's about power. They know if they can keep these working people divided, then we really can stay in power. And we know that these corporations, like white people, why are y'all fighting against black people? Why are y'all talking about black folks so much? Why are we in your mouths so much? Because you guys have been indoctrinated to believe that we are the problem. And really, the problem is the powers that be. But y'all are so sick with racism that you rather point to us as the problem. And that's the unfortunate thing. This is how they show black people. You know what? Think about this. Let me see, which one do I want to show you? Oh, we'll talk about the EBT.
I got 7 kids with 7 men. 7! And that's the taxpayer's responsibility, okay? Y'all.
I have had no food in my home for 10 days. And to everyone telling me to get a job and that this is my fault, no. This is your responsibility as a taxpayer to support me and my 6 babies. This is your fault. My food stamps were taken.
Y'all hear me? Because of this government shutdown, they telling me I can't use my EBT in November. I got 6 kids with 6 men. 6! And that's the taxpayer responsibility. I got 4 mouths at home. What am I supposed to do now?
Y'all knew winter was coming and you still stopped taking EBT? That's cruel.
We can't wait months for y'all to figure this out.
When I get older, shoot, I want to have like 20 baby daddies. They all gonna pay me child support. I get my EBT, I'm set.
Why don't you just get a job?
Oh, I heard it now. I know you didn't say that.
So this woman says it's the taxpayer's job to take care of her and her 7 children. Not 1, not 2, 7. Ma'am, that's not a family. That's a franchise. She got more dependents than the Avengers, and somehow that's our fault.
Now, people are starting to understand that this is AI, but people still will believe this. This is what people want to believe. You got to think about this. There's so much out there. Again, think back to the Russian bots. Think about how there's so much division online between black people, black men and black women. Let me show you this one.
Now that before we even believe what we're listening to or looking at on social media, who's behind the messaging? That's why when we talked about the T app earlier, in earlier episodes, it's like, yo, is this used as a propaganda machine? And a lot of people on my comment, that I commented on World Star, and I'm like, yo, and they were like, Isaac, like, you're right. I never thought about it like that. Like, cause the name was like goofy. The name was like Kavan. Like, I know my worth Kavan, and it's real N-words out there that are going to give me the bag. I'm like, what does that do except pit black men and black women against one another? And it's on worldstarhiphop.com. And you don't even know, I was like, you can't even tell if the message is real or not. And so we got to figure out if we're being gaslit by, a community to keep us divided.
And I just say, follow the money. Okay. So there is a real agenda out there to make sure that we're seen in a negative light, but they also get paid and get money. Think about this. I was watching the Braxtons the other day, and it was so disheartening. This is a show that I don't know when it started, but years ago, the Braxton family values. It was sisters. They love each other. And now, one sister passed away and the other ones are fighting. And it was so disheartening just to see it, like just to see the negativity. Every single reality show that you see with black women shows us in a negative light. Now you remember you don't see the same thing with white reality shows, not in the same fashion. I think one of the real estate shows a couple of years ago, people pointed that out. You got the black one, you got the white one. The white women are selling $1 million homes. The black women are fighting. And think about in the 80s or, the sitcoms, right? When it was, you had an issue and it was revolved and everybody hugged. I think people would be surprised if we had something that showed us in a positive light. They try to say that the positivity doesn't sell, but I don't think that they've given us enough positivity to see if it sells. Think about R&B Divas. R&B Divas was supposed to start out as a positive show, and it did not. Then you got Black women fighting, basketball wives fight. Married to Medicine is a show about Black doctors. The first episode.
Let me tell you something. Let me tell you. Get motherfucking hell, bitch. Nah, bitch. Oh, no. What? Toya and Mariah are fighting right now. What are you doing, man? No, absolutely not. Absolutely not. Hold up. Oh, hell no.
I cannot believe that this is happening. Like, I have to pull them apart from each other.
I will you are oh my God! Mariah! You are my best friend. Let me go. Mariah! Mariah, let her go. Let me go. Mariah, let her go.
I cannot even believe this is happening. Two bitches fighting in ball gowns.
Mariah! She got her hair. Come on, Mariah. Let go. Let go, Mariah.
Are you kidding me?
A bitch. No, bitch. Come on. It's me. Let's go. Now break apart.
Two grown women, educated women, doctors' wives.
Come on, Mariah. Let go.
Let me reiterate that point. Doctors' wives.
Don't do that. I don't give a damn.
No, you cannot do that. Lucy's coming by. I'm trying to stop her. She's knocking me out of the way. This shit is crazy. She's hitting Toya in the head.
Nah, bitch. Nah, bitch. I'll put you in there myself. Don't you ever say shit to her. You stay away from her. Okay. Come on.
And what do you show? You show Black people fighting, white people leaving. It's propaganda. So no, white supremacy is not making Black people act a fool. I'm not even gonna put you on a thing. No, but this is what they will showcase. And this is, I know people who were producers at these reality shows. And these are the things they would put them in situations, and then they would prompt them, and they would prompt them, and they would push them. And then this is what they show. Now you got to think about this again. Who are the people who are putting this information out, and why are they putting this information out? So who owns Bravo? Let's think about this. Jewish person. He's the owner of Comcast Corporation, which owns NBC Universal, which owns Bravo. These are the people who are getting paid off of making you look crazy, look like minstrels. Follow the money, but also follow the racism. Again, if you can keep people divided based upon stereotypes and tropes and their differences, that's how you stay in power. You think about this $230 million ballroom that's being built. $230 million ballroom that's being built. And it's being built from the donors of the inauguration. They raised over $200-300 million from the inauguration. So there was no limits. And all the people who donated these millions of dollars, was over 300 companies that donated this money. They were in the pockets. So they're doing things now. All of a sudden, oh, I wish I had that video. All of a sudden, you know what? I may have it. All of a sudden, you see a lot of lawsuits that were there. It might be too long. That all of a sudden went away. You see different government contracts, like even that Google had, that they now, not government contracts, fines. Let me see if I can find it. Fines that they had that were now suddenly gone. But, you know, again, they don't serve. The politicians aren't serving the people. Politicians are serving big business. And you got so much people, stupid ass people, like people on here, like the trolls are out here, and I'm glad you guys are out here. But you got the trolls that are on here that are talking about Black people are the problem. And you guys are doing exactly what it is that they want you to do. You're playing right in their hands. And we know. So this is for you to see. And I'm glad that you're on here saying stupid shit that you're saying, because I want Black people to see stupid motherfuckers like this that's trolling right now. And I'm not even gonna put your stuff on the up on the screen, but I just want Black folks to see this is what they think about you. Let me see if I can find it. But I'm not going to find it right now. Even think about CFPB. Actually, I did a video that I'll be releasing this week, and it's just about CFPB, the Consumer Finance Bureau, CFPB. I forget what they stand for. Consumer Finance Agency, Consumer Finance Bureau. Protection Bureau, Consumer Finance Protection Bureau. Think about what's happening with the CFPB. Now, the CFPB was put in place after 2008 because there was a lot of predatory practices going on by these big banks and these big corporations. So they were being fined. So you have Wells Fargo being fined for billions of dollars. You have Bank of America being fined for billions of dollars, and all of these other companies that have been fined. Even up to today, companies are being fined, right? So one of the first orders of business with Doge, Elon Musk and Trump was to get rid of the CFPB. They couldn't because it wasn't a governmental entity and it was self-funded. But the first thing that they wanted to do, that they tried to do, and what they've done is they've tried to strip away as much of their power as they could. Now, this is for the people. The CFPB is to protect people, but you're taking that protection away because you're saying it's predatory. Well, the only people that it's predatory towards are the big banks. Well, the big banks donated billions of dollars or millions of dollars to Donald Trump. So now the CFPB is a predatory entity. Like, are you serious right now? The CFPB made sure that we're not being nickeled and dimed in these banks. The CFPB is to make sure that our overdraft fees aren't exorbitant. The CFPB is to make sure that fake accounts aren't open in our names, that credit isn't being reported unfairly, inaccurately. That's what the CFPB is for, the people. But one of the first order of business for Trump is to dismantle the CFPB. Now, y'all white folks around here thinking that black people are the problem, and these protections are for you too. But you're so worried about us. So that's the reason why I come here. My goal is to educate us on what's happening. It's not to cause fear. It's not to be a grifter or a race baiter, as you stupid motherfuckers say. It's really to alert black folks of the practices so that we can stay woke. Because woke is not a bad word. Being woke is not a negative word. Being woke is being aware. Actually, I just did a video on being woke, and I should have just, let me see if I'm trying to put it on here. But so that black folks can stay woke. I don't care if you guys stay woke or not, because y'all can fight with us or whatever. My goal is to have black people unify. That's it, and that's all. And so that's the reason why I'm here, to inform us of what's going on with the powers that be. All of this propaganda out here, y'all, is to distract. What was COINTELPRO's job? Disrupt, destroy, and distract. Distract, destroy, and disrupt. And they absolutely did all of that shit. Disrupt, destroy, and distract. And that's what they did. Essentially, that's what they did. And that's what they're trying to do today. But brothers and sisters, my goal is to share with you what's going on so that we can practice collective economics. But you got to follow the money so that you can see these talking points and all these tropes and this, again, this red pill, blue pill, dividing black people against each other. Let me see if this was it. Dividing black people against each other. Because now, even like with Kevin Samuels, you see there's been this idea of you ain't taking me to the Cheesecake Factory and all that silly ass shit. I don't even know anybody who talks like that. But there's this war against black people. There's this digital age Willie Lynch going on to pit the light against the dark. Yeah, all this colorism, to compete, to put the man against the women, the old against the young. This trick is as old as America, and it's happening via digital media. So that's the reason why I do what I do, is because I want to make us aware and make us woke. Look at what Donald Trump said about being woke.
Woke is bullshit. I don't know if you've been watching, but we got rid of woke over the last 2 weeks. Woke is gonzo.
So we took over the Kennedy Center. We didn't like what they were showing and various other things. We're going to make sure that it's good and it's not going to be woke. There's no more woke in this country. This woke has cost us a fortune and cost us our reputation.
I don't like the term woke because I hear woke. You know, it's like just a term that half the people can't even define it. They don't know what it is. A lot of things going on with our military, with the woke and all this nonsense. They're not learning to fight and protect us from some very bad people. They want to go woke.
Woke means you're a loser. Everything woke
It's true. Everything woke turns to shit.
And I hate hearing this man talk, but I did a video the other day. Let me see if I can find it. Just about the movement against staying woke. Let me see if I can find it on my Facebook page, just so y'all can see what's really going on. And this is really what I try to do, is try to educate us on what's really going on. This is my personal Facebook page. Let's see. Staying woke. Oh, by the okay, let's do it.
Is by people who were never meant to carry it. When we say the word woke, has been twisted, flipped, and weaponized by people who were never meant to carry it. When we say stay woke, we weren't talking about gender wars or culture wars. We were talking about awareness, about survival, about staying alert to the racism, injustice, and
damn. Hold on. Sheesh. That's what happens when you're on live TV. Enter full screen. There we go. All right, we're gonna start it over.
Been twisted, flipped.
Let's do it one more time.
The word woke, our word, has been twisted, flipped, and weaponized by people who were never meant to carry it. When we say stay woke, we weren't talking about gender wars or culture wars. We were talking about awareness, about survival, about staying alert to the racism, injustice, and systems designed to keep us blind. Now, let me take you back for a second, because this word didn't just pop up in the 2000s. The phrase stay woke first showed up in the 1930s in the Black community, long before hashtags ever existed. The earliest known use came from Huddy Leadbelly Ledbetter, a blues legend who in 1938 recorded a song warning Black folks to stay woke. This was after the Scottsboro Boys were wrongfully convicted of raping 2 white women. He said because he knew if you were Black in America, you had to stay woke, stay cautious, stay alive, stay alert to the lies that cost you your freedom or your life. Then the phrase resurfaced through every era of our struggle, whispered in the streets during the Civil Rights Movement, shouted through the speakers of our poets and our prophets, and revived by Erykah Badu in her 2008 song, Master Teacher.
I think they mean Black.
But fast forward today, now we see politicians led by Donald Trump and the right wing trying to hijack our word, turning woke into an insult.
Woke is bullshit. I don't know if you've been watching, but we got rid of woke over the last 2 weeks. Woke is gonzo. Woke means you're a loser. Everything woke turns to shit. I don't like the term woke because I hear woke. You know, it's like just a term that use half the people can't even define it. They don't know what it is.
Oh, we know exactly what it is. They've launched this anti-woke movement, using it as a weapon to silence the truth, rewrite history, and discredit those who dare to question power. But let's get this one thing straight. We're not giving them our word, because being woke was never about political correctness or gender identity. It was about consciousness. It was about being aware of racism, injustice, and oppression, and doing something about it. Our ancestors stayed woke through slavery. Our parents stayed woke through segregation. And now it's our turn to stay woke in the face of misinformation, media manipulation, and modern day racism dressed up in policy. So no, let me tell you something. We're not allowing them to bastardize our word or twist its meaning. Woke is not a threat. It's a badge of honor. It means we see clearly. It means we think critically. It means we love deeply and fight fiercely. So while they're mocking it, we live in it. Stay aware, stay informed, stay proud, but above all, stay woke. Now drop a Black fist in the comments and share.
Drop a Black fist, y'all. And that's the real. And so this I love it. This troll that's on here right now, that I'm not gonna put any of his stuff on the screen right now, but he is exactly who I'm talking about. This is how a lot of them think. So if you're on the same thread, I'm on about 8 different channels right now. There's a couple of thousand people that are watching us live. So if you're on the same thread as him, you know what I'm talking about. For everybody else, you guys probably don't see it because he's saying a bunch of bullshit that just doesn't even matter, but he's exactly what I'm talking about. This is the indoctrination of these radical people who believe that we are the problem. and they will give the government a pass. They will starve themselves, they will starve their family, and they will vote against their own best interest because they have been indoctrinated, because they have the mental capacity and the education and the comprehension of a third grader. Yeah. For that troll right there. Yeah. For that troll. What's up, Jurassic 5? What's cracking? So they're but again, we gotta follow the money. You gotta think about it. Think about even gangster rap, y'all. Think about this. When hip hop, Jurassic 5, ain't you? Aren't you a hip hop artist from the 80s or like? Aren't you like one of the original? Let's talk about it, right? So hip hop, when it first came out, it was about what was happening, what was going on. It was about breakdance, and then you had the pro-black movement, which that's the best movement. That's the best time for me in hip hop, was in the mid 90s, when you had all the pro-black, you had the African medallion, you had the unity, the peace, the love. And then what do you have? What happens? Gangster rap. Now, there is a rumor that there was this secret meeting. How do we incarcerate more black people? We put it in the music. And you know that the frequency of the music, what it does inside our spirit. I know somebody who used to say, you know, we used to fight, and what we would do to get ready for the fight is we would listen to this music and listen to this music, and that would get us hyped, and that would get us ready to fight. You think about all the black bodies, all the black young boys who died. Remember, Dr. Dre said his brother died on the streets while they was listening to NWA, and how that affected him. All the influence that has. The frequency of music can change things. You think about when you go to church and how music can change your mood, or when you listen to something, a sad song, and how it can make you cry and it can make you emotional. If you're listening to something hype, that's why when you're at different places, they do, all I do is win, no matter what, because everybody gets hype. That's the influence that music has. They recognize that and they realize that. And who is responsible for that? It ain't us. We don't own the record labels like that. It's a lot of Jewish men. It's a lot of Jewish men that would not dare put this information, the same stuff about women in their communities, berating black women, talking about raping and talking about murdering. They would never have no Jewish with attitude group talking about killing each other, talking about murdering each other, but yet they will put money behind this. Remember, I should have it in here, and I just posted it the other day, what Tank said.
Our violence isn't the threat. Our love is. Our family separated. It's fine. It's perfect. The man staying with his family and raising his kids and pouring into his woman, that's the threat. That's why R&B takes such a back seat, because we're not promoting the aesthetic that continues to perpetuate the stereotype. You guys are killers. You guys are animals. You guys are savages. That's when you're at your best. So that's what we're going to reward. Those are the guys who get the $100 million deals. Those are the guys who fill up the arenas and stadiums and talk that shit. We love when you talk that shit. Love? We're cool. We're cool. We don't own conglomerates. It comes down to ownership.
Yep.
We don't own radio. We don't own streaming. We don't own media. We don't own none of it.
Majority of the people who own it look just like this. He said, our violence isn't the threat, our love is. So they're going to put way more money behind the gangster rap, the rap where they're degrading black people, dehumanizing black women, the misogynists. They're going to put the money behind that. They're going to have a very small budget. That's why you don't see positive rap right now. That's why you don't see that. It's because they're not going to put the money behind it, because they say that they can't make any money, but that's just an excuse. You put the same kind of money behind some positive rap on with some good beats, people are going to listen to it. Trust me. But they're not going to do it because the play is to continue to propagandize Black people, to show us in this negative light so that it's seen around the world. We don't own these media outlets. We don't own even YouTube. We do get to put out our content so that certain people are able to look at it. So I appreciate you guys watching, and I want you guys to share this to let people know and let people understand. So all these conversations that we have around the red pill, the blue pill, oh, she said that she want to go to Cheesecake Factory, and you have these, that was a stupid ass bitch. Oh God, let me show you her. I think I have it. I didn't upload it. Let me see. This is the kind of
Welcome back to the show. So last night was Halloween, as many people know, and I decided to dress up like everyone else does. You know, people are out there dressed like Satan and witches, and they're dressed like every horrible thing under the sun. Well, I decided to dress up as something, the most horrifying thing I could think of, which is the Black woman, which is a person who is angry and fed up that their EBT card has been declined, that their race card is no longer working in this new climate, and that they're not receiving the reparations that they think they deserve, despite the fact that they did not build this country.
So this troll that's on this one of the other streams, he's one of the people who actually believes this stupid ass shit. But this is the propaganda. The reason why she thinks this way is because this is the stereotypes that have been pushed out there. You've not seen any stereotypes about Asian people being pushed out there like this. You don't see stereotypes about white people or Jewish people being pushed out like this. You don't see any stereotypes about Arabs being pushed out like this. But you do see Black people presented in a negative light. And that's why they eat it up. But you got to wonder why. You got to wonder why. Because they know that we're a force. That's why they've done all these things, y'all. You are a powerful, powerful people, regardless of what they say. So you got to think about all the minstrels. I remember growing up seeing this stuff and my parents laughing because they didn't know any better. All this minstrel show type shit, like what? All this, the pickaninny, the watermelon, all these, the mammy. And then in the 70s, you had the Black exploitation movies. Everybody loved these Black Caesar, Superfly. These did not paint Black people in a positive light. Then you go to the 90s, and then you have all these gangster movies that, again, portraying Black people in a negative light. They will green light these like a motherfucker. They will put the money, even if it's Black directors. They gonna put the money behind some shit to make Black people look bad. But you're never gonna see Jewish people in a negative light like that. Ever. Why? Because they own the media. And what is the purpose of them putting out information about us that make us look negatively, that make us appear negatively? There's dollars, there's racism, there's control by the powers that be. If I could take the lowest white man and convince him that he's better than the best colored man, he won't even know you picking his pockets. Y'all, they have been indoctrinated, this country, because it's so sick with racism. This is their belief. This is their core belief. And this is what they're always going to believe. My goal is just to make sure that we are not believing this bullshit. My goal is to make sure that we know the real of who we really are. My goal is to make sure that we understand how powerful that we really are. And if we can work together, if we can unify, if we can practice collective economics, that's what's the thing that's going to destroy everything. Because we have to follow the money. All of these conglomerates, World Star is owned by a white man. Okay, these record labels are owned by white people. These TV shows, NBC, ABC, CBS. Look at CBS. Just fired all the Black people from CBS because they're far right. Okay, so this means more money, but this also means that this propaganda will continue to go out about us. This is a digital civil war. Okay, so think about what this is doing, how this is indoctrinating us, and get educated and be intentional. This is psychological warfare that they have on the American people and across the world. The first thing that foreigners say when they come to America is people tell them to stay away from Black people. They even tell Africans to stay away from African Americans. They tell, Chinese people stay away from Black people because of what they see on TV. But think about, there are positive owned Black platforms. And I want you to think about making sure that you patronize those. Okay. Make sure your algorithm ain't a world star. Make sure you're not giving them that money, because the more views they get, the more money that they make. Okay. So make sure that you're curating the media that you're watching. Make sure you're engaging in positive discourse. Make sure you're engaging in powerful content. That's what I want you to do. And then make sure that you are actually starting businesses and creating our own ecosystem. That's important. That's the reason why I do the Grow Your Money Club. It's because I want to show Black folks specifically how to create their own ecosystem, how to build their credit. Because we know that if we have great credit, that's leverage to be able to use other people's money for other things. And so we need to make sure that we have our education, not just these talk shows, not just these podcasts, but really educating ourselves, really absorbing ourselves in the knowledge and the information that we need so that we can change our lives. We can change our family's lives. We can change our legacy. That is extremely important. And that's what I want for you more than anything. So that's why I do the Grow Your Money Club. Let me show you the Grow Your Money Club.
While everybody else is out here blowing their money, you about to be growing your money. How? Inside the Grow Your Money Club, this is your one-stop wealth building training hub designed to help you build, grow, invest, and diversify your income. You have the credit bundle, which is going to help you to increase your credit IQ with business credit, personal credit, with the credit repair masterclass. And then you have the real estate bundle. This is where we're going to show you how to invest in tax deeds, land banks, how to buy a house separately from your spouse, the Living Trust ebook, and from Campus Cash Flows, showing your children how to become real estate investors. In the investor bundle, you're going to learn how to invest using Robinhood, the investor success formula, and the wealth map 6-phase blueprint that shows you how to build, grow, and invest your money. And finally, the business builder bundle. This is where we show you how to establish your entity and build business credit, how to obtain government contracts, how to create jaw-dropping video content, how to write and publish your best-selling book, and even how to bring your idea to life. You can purchase each training a la carte, get the bundle that fits your goals, or unlock the 12-month roadmap, which is your full access pass to every single training inside the Grow Your Money Club. While they're spending, you stacking. While they're watching, you winning. Join the Grow Your Money Club today.
So I just want to shout out a few people who are watching live, and I appreciate you guys. I appreciate Jurassic 5, J5, right on. Real hip hop, you guys. Okay. I want to just highlight some comments. Jimmy Rice say J5, the homies, West Coast Underground Hip Hop Group, salute from Cypher 7. All right, amen. What'd you say? Following the money only leads to Dante's Divine Comedy. It's written on the dollar, the pyramid, divine, heaven, hell, and purgatory. All right. I'm not going to even highlight this dude right here. I'm not going to put any of his stuff on here, but this is one of the trolls that's on one of the social media. So I just want to let you know his name is Shags Malone, and he's on social media trolling, talking shit about Black people. Jurassic 5 said late 80s hip hop was about knowledge of self-destruction. Remember that? Stop the Violence movement. Self-destruction was one of my favorite songs. But that's what it was. I mean, it was, and then what happened? They start putting all the money into the stuff that was meant to destroy. And just like Delphine said, we don't control the narrative. Kundro said the powers that be drug Ascari X from Oakland. I didn't even know that because he was pushing a hard line with songs like Another Pig Bites the Dust. I didn't even know. James Elliott said, you're right about woke. It was about white people to stay away from them. Donald Trump said everyone that was woke was shit. So there you have it, basically. Black people don't purchase that music. We are not the main consumers of this music. Interesting. I agree. I wouldn't expect them to anything remotely tantamount to our liberation. That's a no-no in their ideology. They need to have their ideology in order to promote their fragility. You got to think about this too, about white supremacy and white mediocrity. They've had a 400 years of head start. They have 400-year head start. Okay. And if they're not rich, shame on them because they had a 400-year head start. So now they're blaming us because they have to use benefits like SNAP, They have to be on welfare, and they blaming us because now they're competing against us. Black women are the most educated. Black folks are getting more and more educated. Black people are getting their skills. And now they're mad because now we're competing in these jobs that they shut us out. And so now they're mad because they've allowed they're just not smart enough to compete. And so now they got to get the advantage back. But see, that's the reason why I'm saying to us, we got to start our own businesses. We got to start supporting our own businesses. We got to practice collective economics, and we got to stop asking them for a seat at the table and build our own goddamn table. Don't worry about people like that. That's white fragility. That's white mediocrity. That's the fact that they have 400-year head start and they still on welfare. It's a problem. 40%, 48% of people on SNAP are white people. It's a problem. Y'all had a 400-year head start. Why are you still on SNAP? It's crazy. Every white person out here should be rich. The way y'all, every time black folks got ahead, y'all burning and bombing. Every white person should be rich. It's your fault if you're not. And now you're mad because now you got some competition from us. It's crazy. Sophia said they scared. Yeah. Mars said they weaponized our music to attack our people. Right. It's all about controlling the narrative. And I'm so glad that you guys understand this. And I just really wanted to bring forth just some information so you guys really understand and know what's really at play, especially when we talk about the man against the woman, the red pill, blue pill. They're putting money behind these narratives to keep us divided. And we have to recognize it. And we actually converse about it, even on our podcast, like, oh, can you believe this black woman says she wanted cheesecake? I don't know nobody who thinks like that. I really don't. I don't know no black women who fight in real life in their 40s. Like, what? But this is the narrative that they want to push out about us. They hate us, but yet women want our beautiful lips, hips, and ass. They pushing this shit to the big screen swiftly, and that's the reason why we got to stop patronizing it. Okay? So they want to stay in power. Absolutely. Do you acknowledge? Oh shit, I put him on the screen. Let me take him off. All right. I appreciate all of you guys, and there's at least 50 more comments on here. But I just really, let me see. Let me take this off the screen. I appreciate y'all. I really do. I really do appreciate y'all. Okay. So I just want to be clear that all this propaganda that we see is not just about politics. It's really about perception. It's really about what they're trying to put out in the world about you. And perception shapes policy. And it also shapes how we even see ourselves, because we've adopted a lot of the talking points that racism has spewed about who we are. Every time you share a fight video, every time you laugh at a negative stereotype, every time you do all of these things, you are adding the fuel to a narrative that was never written to benefit you. So let's be intentional, you guys. Let's definitely stay woke. Let's stay woke, and let's stay wealthy, outstanding, knowledgeable, and empowered. Because we do have influence on how our image is put out there. And the less that we engage in the bullshit and the propaganda, the less that they will put it out. But we have to be intentional about putting out more positive things about who we are. We cannot allow these modern day minstrels to take over and really start to propagandize us again. They've done that for years. People have been brainwashed about who we are. Oh, I forgot even about the black fathers in the home. They had this thing about black people, everything that Charlie Kirk said, that white people were like, yeah, he's speaking our language. He's saying all the things we wanted to say that we couldn't say because politically incorrect for the last 50 years. Now we know that black men are the most involved group of people out there, but they have this narrative that black men aren't in the home. And we know that we are. Black people may not be married on the same scale as everybody else, but that does not mean black men are not taking care of their children. And so I want to just make sure that we're dispelling these myths. We're not repeating these things, that we're not just taking it all in, and we're not eating it, and we're not indoctrinating ourselves with the same bullshit and propaganda that they are saying about us. Disrupt, destroy, dismantle everything about us. Okay, J. Edgar Hoover said the biggest threat to America was Negro unity. I need you to understand there's a reason why. And so we just have to be intentional about what we feed ourselves. And I want to make sure that we're doing that. All right. So for those of you who want to work with me, there is different ways that you can work with me. So you can join the Grow Your Money Club. I showed you guys the video a couple of times. If you are a Black woman or you know a Black woman, I work specifically with Black women. I coach Black women from all over the country in my organization called the Net 7 Collective. That's where I help Black women increase their net worth to 7 figures, because there is this study that said that by the year 2053, our median wealth is going to be a 0. I don't believe that. They didn't fuck around and gave us internet. They gave us AI. We have all the tools that we need. And so I coach Black women to be the best that we can be, not just for ourselves, not to try to separate us from the Black man, but to really build our communities, build our families, create legacies for our children and our children's children. That's what I do. So if you want to learn how to work with me in any capacity, you can go to my website, constancecarter.com. For those of you who own real estate or who want to purchase real estate, I have the B1 Real Estate Mastery Training. What is that? That's where I teach people how to become investors. Okay. I teach people how to become developers. Okay. So I have a class going on right now, a cohort. And it's still early enough for you to get involved. And part of your involvement in the B1 Real Estate Mastery Training is you get access to the Grow Your Money Club for free when you become a member of the B1 Real Estate Mastery Training, as well as Net 7 Collective. And then I have Net 7 Nation, which are local chapters all over the country where we are doing some things locally, where we're going to be doing some things locally to really impact our community, which I'm really excited about as well. So those are ways that you can work with me. Again, I try to find a solution to the problems. The problems are racism. The problem is racism. The problem is white supremacy. And how do we combat that? So I'm not just going to talk about the problem. I'm going to always try to have a solution. And so if you want to work with me in any way, you could follow me everywhere. I am Constance Carter, or you can go to my website. Like, all my shit is on constancecarter.com, and you can work with me, and I would love to work with you directly. I do one-on-one coaching as well. So whatever you want to do to work with me. And if you don't know anything about me, I built the largest Black-owned real estate firm in California. I own a cannabis dispensary, best-selling books. In fact, I'm releasing the 21-day reset journal. So if you, oh God, this is transformational. So this is going to be coming soon, the 21-day reset ramp journal. And I really show you how to transform your life and create a habit in 21 days. It's the ramp journal. It's the Rise, Firm, Meditate, and Prayer journal. And so this is going to be released. I mean, it's really already on Amazon, but I haven't like officially promoted it. And the reason why is because I have some folks in my group that are doing the 21-day reset right now. And so I really want to see how their lives transform, because it's transformed my life. And I want to showcase how their lives have been transformed after doing the 21-day reset. So you can join us now if you want to, but I'm not really promoting it out there. I'm going to push it out there around Christmas time after the 21 days, but it's the ramp journal. So if you want to go on Amazon.com and pick it up, you can. But if not, you can wait until then, but it's really transformational. And it's for men, women, boys, girls, white, Black, whatever. If you really want to make a change and reset, and like you feel stuck and you need something different, this is something that's really going to put you in, give you the tools that you need to get you unstuck. But it'll also show you how to create a habit and how to really indoctrinate yourself with all the right things. All right. So that's what that is. So I'm gonna let you guys go. I'll be here on Wednesday with probably April Sampay, and then on Thursday with Dr. Jones, where we talk about ways that you can really live your life in the most optimal way with different health, talking about different health topics. Dr. Jones is a family medicine doctor, and she also practices holistic health. So I always have her on here every Thursday as well, so that we can talk about that, because we can't be wealthy if we're not healthy. I want you to be wealthy in all different ways of your life. All right, so go to my website. I have a Living Trust ebook that's sold over 5,000 copies over the last few months, and that's been helping people get their living trust together, because folks is, they over here fighting and shit. So I want to make sure that people your children aren't going to be hating each other when you die. So make sure that as you're building wealth, that you're able to properly transfer it, because there's been so many people. In fact, before I get off here, let me just show you this. I wasn't posing. Hold on. Let me just. Oh no. Hold on. Show y'all real quick, just so you can see, and then I'm gonna get off of here for real, for real, for real this time. But thank you for rocking with me like y'all always do. Hold on. I just want to kind of show you why it's so important for us to really look at, when we're talking about wealth preservation, what are we doing to preserve our wealth and transfer our wealth? So, hold on, let me share my screen. I gotta find it first. It was something that I did last week. And if you're not following me, follow me everywhere at I am Constance Carter. That's where I have a lot of information on everything that I do too. Oh, here it is right here. All right. Bet. Hold on. Let me just show y'all why it's important to have a living trust. And then I'm gonna get out here for real. I gotta do some work. I got my today's Monday, I got my agents. Together when you die, keep scrolling. But if you don't, listen to this, because I've seen it happen way too many times. Families that were once close, destroyed. Siblings that grew up side by side, not speaking, all because nobody prepared. Nobody wanted to talk about death. Nobody made a plan. When mama or daddy passes without a living trust, the courts get to decide what happens. And when that happens, love turns to lawsuits. Keep the courts out your business. Just look at what happened to some of our icons. Prince died in 2016 with no will or trust. His estate was worth about $156 million. His 6 siblings fought for 6 years, arguing over who deserved more. And one of his sisters claimed she was entitled because she was a full sister, not a half sibling. The battle went on so long that one of his brothers died before the estate was even settled. And after taxes, court fees, and legal battles, tens of millions of dollars were lost. John Singleton, the brilliant director who gave us Boys in the Hood, he had a trust, but here's the problem. He never updated it. When he created it, he had just 1 child, but by the time he passed, he had 7. His daughter thought she should be in control. His baby mama sued the estate for unpaid child support, and his mother went to court to protect what her son built. It took years of fighting, but eventually the judge put her in charge so the estate could be distributed equally amongst all of his children. Damage was already done. What was once worth an estimated $35 million was whittled down to about $6.8 million after debts, fees, and infighting. That's what happens when a trust isn't updated as life changes. Now let's talk about James Brown, the godfather of soul. The chaos that ensued upon his death. His estate was worth around $100 million, and it took 15 years to settle. His family fought over his widow's legitimacy, his children sued each other, and family secrets came out. Meanwhile, his body sat on ice for months because nobody could even agree on where or how to bury this man. That's the level of pain and dysfunction probate brings, even when you thought you've done everything right. And then there's Aretha Franklin. Her estate was worth around $80 million. She didn't have a formal will or a trust. She just had a scribbled piece of paper that was found in her couch cushions. It was handwritten, but it was legally valid. Still, her sons fought in court for 5 years over which version was real. By the time the dust settled, between the taxes, the attorney fees, years of legal fees, her estate dropped from $80 million to $6 million, and her family still isn't whole. These are people who have millions, but you don't have to be rich for your family to go through the same heartache. And for us, y'all, it hits even harder for Black people because we've already been fighting uphill for generations through slavery, redlining, predatory lending, and systematic racism. We've been shut out of wealth building for centuries. And now that we're finally starting to build it, we're losing it in the same generation we're acquiring it. Not because we don't have money, but because we don't have plans. 70% of white families who own homes have some type of estate planning. 70% of Black families who own homes do not. And home ownership is still the #1 wealth builder in America. Lawyers charge anywhere between $1,500 and $3,000. I know because that's what I paid for mine. But here's what changed everything for me. When I started buying more properties, I had to update my trust. I wrote an ebook that walks you step by step on how to create your own living trust without paying thousands of dollars. The last thing you want is for the people that you love most to not only be grieving when you're gone, but to end up hating each other and not speaking for years. Keep the courts out your business, y'all. Go to makemylivingtrust.com. That part. So that I have a free personal information organizer as well. You can go on my site, just to make sure that you have all of your affairs in order in one place. Go to my website, constancecarter.com/books. And there is the Make My Living Trust should be on there. And then there's a personal information organizer. Once you put all that stuff in there, and make sure you send it to whoever, your next of kin, whoever you want to kind of be over your estate. But if you own property, or if you had something, get that living trust ebook. Don't pay $3,000, pay $25 to get the ebook. Create your living trust, and record it, and just make sure that your affairs are in order, because that's the thing, is we don't want those types of activities continuing to happen in our community. And I've helped enough people to know. I've had people with living trust, easy. And then I had people who did not have living trust, who have properties, and it took 2 years to get their stuff sold. And people ended up fighting, people ended up hating each other, and they spent a lot of money. So it's time consuming, and some of the wealth that you worked so hard to build is gone. And so I just want to make sure that you have everything, all your ducks in a row, Black folks, because we've been pressed out the game for so long with redlining, predatory lending. Now we're starting to build wealth. I want to make sure that we're keeping it and we're passing it. All right, y'all. I'll see you Wednesday, same bad time, same bad channel.